Let me tell you about a chilling encounter that shook a man named Ethan to his core, a man who had never believed in the supernatural until that fateful night. This story isn't just a tale. Ethan shared it with his friends and family, and he was never the same again. Ethan had always been a skeptic, brushing off ghost stories as figments of overactive imaginations. But one stormy evening changed everything. After a long day at work, he was heading home when he felt a strange pull down an alley he'd never noticed before. Hidden there was an antique shop, small and dimly lit, almost swallowed by shadows. Drawn by an unexplainable urge, he walked inside. The air was heavy with the scent of dust and decay, an overwhelming sense of history weighing down on him. Amidst stacks of oddities, his eyes locked onto an ornate mirror with a tarnished frame. There was something peculiar about its glass, a shimmering effect that seemed almost alive. As he inspected it, the shopkeeper, an elderly woman with piercing, hollow eyes, issued a cryptic warning. "Be careful what you seek in the reflection," she murmured. But Ethan laughed it off, dismissing her words as an attempt to add intrigue. Ignoring her, he purchased a mirror and brought it home, hanging it in his hallway. That night, as rain lashed against the windows and thunder shook the walls, Ethan found himself drawn to the mirror. In the dim light, it looked almost as if the reflection moved with a life of its own. He leaned closer, squinting to examine his surroundings in the glass, and his heart stopped. A dark, shadowy figure stood behind him, its form distorted and unnatural. He spun around, breath caught in his throat, but the hallway was empty. Shaking his head, he tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was the flickering lights, or his mind playing tricks. But every night, he found himself staring into that mirror, his reflection tinged with something sinister lurking just behind him. Each time, the figure seemed clearer, its eyes darker, filled with a chilling intensity. The days turned into a nightmare, the figure haunting his every waking hour. It started to mimic him, but its expression was twisted, malevolent. And then Ethan began to feel it, an unshakable sensation of being watched, a heaviness in the air. A dread that settled in his bones and clouded his mind. Finally, on another stormy night, he decided to confront whatever it was. Standing before the mirror, his voice quivered as he demanded, "What do you want?" To his horror, the figure grinned, stretching its face into a grotesque, unnatural smile. It raised its hand, and Ethan felt a sharp, searing pain in his chest, a burning sensation that left him gasping for breath. In that moment of panic, he stumbled back, eyes wide with terror, as the figure's hand began reaching through the glass, skeletal fingers grasping for him. "You should have listened," it hissed, the words echoing inside his head, paralyzing him. In a final act of desperation, Ethan grabbed the mirror and hurled it to the ground. It shattered with an ear-splitting crash, shards of glass spraying across the floor. The figure let out a bone-chilling scream as its form began to dissipate, vanishing into the air like smoke. Ethan collapsed, breathing heavily, feeling relief wash over him as he stared at the broken remains of the mirror. But as he turned to leave, a cold gust of wind swept through the hallway, and in the glint of the shattered pieces, he saw it, a glimpse of the figure standing behind him once more, eyes blazing with fury, a twisted smile still etched on its face. It was then that Ethan realized with dawning horror, breaking the mirror hadn't freed him. The entity wasn't gone, it had only begun to seek its revenge. Now, the line between Ethan's world and the mirrors was shattered, and he knew it would stop at nothing to claim him. Ethan's story serves as a warning, a reminder that sometimes, a reflection is more than just a reflection. Sometimes, it's a portal to something darker, something that will haunt you forever.